Fani Willis is finally addressing recent allegations that she hired a special prosecutor, who she's allegedly having an affair with, to help lead the case against former President Donald Trump. And rather than either admit it was at least a colossal screw-up or deny it if it wasn't true, instead she's just pulling out the race card.
Why does Commissioner Thorne and so many others question my decision in special counsel? Lord, you're flawed, hard-headed, and imperfect child. I'm a little confused.
Well, Fani, let me clear it up for you, you poor, suffering child of God. Let me help you out with the confusion. All right, my friends, get ready to free that mind because it's showtime. J.R. Dukes with you once again. More great news for President Donald Trump. This Fani Willis case, the DA from Fulton County, Georgia. Rather a disgraceful DA, if I may say so myself, but her and her alleged boyfriend, the prosecutor she hired, Nathan Wade, are still under a serious cloud of suspicion with an alleged affair between the two of them, in which allegations are that Nathan Wade, the prosecutor, the attorney, has been having a very serious personal relationship with Fani Willis. The allegations are Nathan Wade has been giving money, trips, and other benefits that are essentially taxpayer dollars through Nathan Wade to Fani Willis. This is Corruption 101. Folks, when you go after the former president of the United States, you put our Constitution at risk. You run the risk of undermining our great country. You better know what you're doing. What a stupid and immature and unprofessional thing to do. She had to know this would be coming. I mean, this is just so sloppy, and it just smacks of corruption. I wonder how deep this well is going to go. We will just have to stay tuned and see. But I will tell you the great news. The judge is concerned. He has ordered the DA, Miss Fani Willis, to give the court a written assessment of exactly what's going on. Now, if you've noticed, she has not denied that there is an affair between her and the prosecutor. She basically went to church, as we talked about in my last video, and she gave this rambling speech about how she's not a perfect person, and Lord, forgive me because I'm a flawed human being. Well, that's putting it mildly, Fani. You have to remember, my friends, that when you go after a man and you go after other men and women that literally can face life incarcerated in a cage, this is not a joke. This is a power using these RICO statutes that were designed only for the most serious and egregious cases, such as gangsters and people that were effectively corrupting our system the way Fani Willis and her new lover boyfriend apparently are doing. These people are trying to put people in a cage for the rest of their life over nonsense, over nothing. This is something that I hope she pays the price for, along with her lover boyfriend and anyone else who has supported them in any way. So I have a great video for us to get into today. This guy here that we're going to show, he's not exactly the most conservative individual in the world, and even he is pretty well spot on when it comes to this case. You may be familiar with Dan Abrams. He has a new network of his own. I believe he's either the owner or he's heavily involved in News Nation. You may have heard of that particular group, and we're going to get into it right now. So without further ado, here we go.
Fani Willis is finally addressing recent allegations that she hired a special prosecutor, who she's allegedly having an affair with, to help lead the case against former President Donald Trump. And rather than either admit it was at least a colossal screw-up or deny it if it wasn't true, instead she's just pulling out the race card.
Why does Commissioner Thorne and so many others question my decision in special counsel? Lord, you're flawed, hard-headed, and imperfect child. I'm a little confused.
Well, Fani, let me clear it up for you, you poor, suffering child of God. Let me help you out with the confusion that you seem to have. You obviously have confusion. That's what you just said. Let me clear it up. You went after the man that is in line to be the next president of the United States. You took down a bunch of grandmothers, grandfathers, older people that were not really involved in anything directly. You ran over anybody and everybody you could. As a matter of fact, the attorney that uncovered this nonsense you've been engaged in, a attorney by the name of Ashleigh Merchant, her client is Michael Roman. The grand jury refused to indict him as you requested. But did you listen to your own grand jury? Of course you didn't, Fani. You went ahead and indicted this guy, and guess what? He's now going to be the architect of your undoing. So let me help you out. You went after people to put them in prison for life, and these people are fighting back because they don't want to be stuck in a cage for the rest of their life. Well, what a surprise that is. Are you still confused, Fani? You're supposed to be above this. You're supposed to be a good person. You're supposed to have character. You're supposed to have prosecutorial discretion, and you did not exercise it in this case.
I appointed 3 special counsel, as is my right to do. Paid them all the same hourly rate.
More lies. The main prosecutor is her boyfriend, this attorney Nathan Wade. She technically did not have the right to hire this individual. She can request it, but it is the county that has to give her permission. However, she failed to do it in this case. I wonder why. Well, we know the reason why, because she wanted her boyfriend to be someone receiving taxpayer money that could basically be funneled back to her. And there are many published reports now that clearly state that they were not all paid the same as she's claiming at the church service here. Fani, stop lying, and definitely stop lying about things that we can check and prove you're a liar.
They only attacked one. I hired one white woman, a good personal friend and great lawyer, a superstar, I tell you. I hired one white man, brilliant, my friend, and a great lawyer. And I hired one black man, another superstar, a great friend, and a great lawyer.
Why are they attacking the one? Maybe because he's the only one she is alleged to be having an affair with.
I got to tell you, Dan, I don't always agree with your commentary, but my friend, you are spot on with this. Look at that face. I love it. Maybe it's because this is the person you're in bed with. Maybe it's because Nathan Wade is the guy that you have been accused of giving $1 million to, and then directly or indirectly, he's giving the money back to you. Sweetheart, this is corruption 101. You're trying to go after people to throw them in jail for life in a cage, take their lives away from them and their families, and you're surprised that people fight back and uncover your malfeasance. Get over yourself, Fani.
She goes on during her 35-minute speech at a church in Atlanta.
Oh Lord, they gonna be mad when I call them out on this nonsense. First thing they say, oh, she gonna play the race card now. But no, God, isn't it them who's playing the race card when they only question one?
What? She doesn't seem to understand she's playing in the big leagues now. You can't hire your boyfriend to be the special prosecutor when the main defendant is the former president of the United States. Willis is alleged to have engaged in a romantic relationship with special prosecutor Nathan Wade while he was married.
That's exactly right, Dan. That is exactly right. When you go after the President of the United States, when you go after people that are in the public eye in this particular way, you definitely are going to have pushback. These people are not going to go to the cage you want them to go to because you say so. These people have rights. We all have rights against rogue prosecutors like you, Fani. We are not going to sit back and just take it and let you throw all of us in jail because you have a wild hair up your know-what. This is ridiculous. You are a crook. There's no other way to say it. Your boyfriend is a crook. Obviously, it's been kind of coming out in published reports that I'm finding out online. There is a lot of issues going on with you, Fani, your office, and your boyfriend. This is not the only story that I have been able to find online where people are making allegations that for you and your boyfriend, this is par for the course. Normally, this type of behavior would kind of be hush-hush and just whispered around the courtroom corridors, well, guess what? You're in the big times, just like my friend Dan just told you. This is something that's easily to talk about and easily to get out in the public eye, especially nowadays with YouTubes and other platforms. It's pretty well a no-brainer to double check and to see where you've been and to check the paper trail on the records. Fani, you are going to pay. I hope that you do not get away with this type of malfeasance, this type of criminal activity. It is such a shame what you have done to Donald Trump and all the people that you have indicted. I can't wait for your picture to be taken, your mugshot picture. You thought it was a real big hoop-de-doo when you had our former President Donald Trump come down to your office and endure that type of embarrassment. So it's all fun and games until you are called out and caught in your own obvious corruption. We'll just have to wait and see. But Fani, you better get your paperwork together, file it by February 2nd with the court, and I hope the court is strong enough to do what is right, because, folks, you're not supposed to even have the appearance of impropriety when it comes to these type of things. Remember this, she is going after all these people to take their lives and destroy their lives and to put them in a cage, and yet she is an individual that is a criminal herself, and we're supposed to take her word. We think we're supposed to believe that her case is solid, and we can believe in her and believe in the case. Folks, if there's any justice in the world, this case is over. This case is done. These attorneys should be brought up on charges. They should lose their law licenses at a minimum. This case should go away at a minimum. And we'll just have to stay tuned and see what happens. Appreciate you joining me for today's video. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, subscribe. It always is a pleasure for me to come and have a conversation with you. I always say keep that mind free. Never give up. And until next time, my friends, I am J.R. Dukes.